Yo, what up? I'm Vitaly and this is my partner John. Hi, we are Dirty Sandwich Productions and we have been developing our first title since November of 2019.
But the story actually starts back in August.
It was a cool night somewhere in Denmark.
And I had just posted a gig on Fiverr. I finally get a message
I asked if he would be interested in making a game.
and I said that I would love to be part of the team. From there, we spent the next few weeks meeting the other members and deciding what game to make and how to name our company.
We figured our company name should be Kebab Productions and we decided upon what game we wanted to make. A game called Are We Drunk? Sort of like Gang Beasts.
Things seemed to be going well for a few weeks. People were showing up to meetings and things were getting done.
We were 6 in total. I had 2 roles, programmer and project manager. There are 2 more programmers and John was one of them. Then we had 2 artists and finally a sound designer.
Vitaly kept arranging meetings, and the only role we needed for the team to be complete was a UI designer.
We planned out what everybody should do. I got the input system.
And I got to make the main menu.
I spent 30 hours and finally finished the input system. So I went ahead and checked up on the other guys.
Then the trouble began. People lost their motivation and work was not getting done, leading to the point where we were the only 2 who showed up to a meeting. After this, we began to have thoughts of leaving Kebab Productions.
And so we did. Our new company is Dirty Sandwich Productions. We're making our first game called Setup Simulator, which we've worked on since November.
We started from scratch, and there were a lot of things for us to do.
With help from our friend Trello, we planned out the game.
I worked on the wire system. First I did a drag and drop, then I transitioned to a new system that would automatically map the wire from the port to the outlet.
I worked on the placement system and various other parts of the game, such as the character control and the PC building algorithm.
On the wiring system, I first went with a drag and drop system. However, early on it was evident that the system would not be effective, so I began prototyping various aspects of the wiring system, including a system to assign the beginning and end of a wire, a system to assign midpoints of a wire, a system to curve the wire to make it look more natural, and a system to check each point of the new wire to ensure that it is not colliding with anything in the scene. There were many issues involved with making an automatic wiring system though. First, there was the system that identified the beginning and end point of the wire to be made, and made sure that the appropriate ports were used at the end of each side of the wire. Then there was the issue of the wire midpoints. However, I think it all turned out pretty well. I settled on a system that automatically routes the wire from its port to its destination. I got over the issue of wire ports by making a list of which port can be on the same wire and which ports cannot be on the same wire. To deal with the issue of wire pathfinding, I made a script that would generate a 3-dimensional array surrounding where the wire should exist, then scanning each point to see if it is currently colliding, then using a pathfinding script to see the most efficient way to get to its destination.
In the meanwhile, I worked on the character controller. I just used Unity's character controller with some slight modifications. However, our newer features began to interrupt the character control, so I needed another solution. So I just made a quick script where I used the rigid body instead. Then I started working on the main part of the game, which were the placement system. I started by raycasting what objects were movable. If they're movable, I'd highlight them to let the player know that he can interact with the object. Then I checked if the player is trying to interact with the selected object by clicking his mouse. When the player clicks the left mouse button while having an object selected, it will run a function called pickup, where it simply just chooses some placement rules depending on the type of the object. So desks will go on the floor, hardware would go on desks, and shelves would go on walls. It would raycast where the person is looking, and that would be the desired position to place the object, depending on the rules of course. The object would place itself on top of the target that the raycast hit. So if you are holding a monitor and looked at a desk, the desired position would be on top of the desk. The Y coordinate of the monitor would be the bounce max of the desk's mesh, which basically means the highest position of the desk. We make sure all of 3D model's pivot point is in the bottom, so our object will sit perfectly on top of its destination, and the X and C values would depend upon the desired position.
Aside from the bigger things, we constantly debugged and improved upon each other's work, along with implementing and smoothing out general features such as the main menu and the general efficiency of the game as a whole.
We also have a free 2D concept game in the works that should be released in a month or two. Feel free to go to our website and check if it's out yet. You can also download it or just play it through the browser. Link is in the description. There you can also support the project if you want. Thanks to all who watched this video. We wish you all a great day from now.